Hey, what's good? It's Pika calling in. It is Sunday night. Oh, it's 10:30 here. Why do I always feel like I've run a marathon by the time I get to this podcast? I don't know. Anyway, today was a pretty good day. Got up and went to work. We had to be there by 10 o'clock. We were all the way out in East Coast. And got to have a meeting with a potential business partner. And we met up with a new colleague, and we had a workshop with two families, and all in all, it was a good day. We finished up, and I think I left there by about, 4 o'clock maybe. Got back home, picked up dinner on the way, got back home, watched a couple movies, just chill out, whatever. Finally put a little bit to sleep, and here I am talking to you guys. Now, I did pick two pretty cool movies. I picked Hotel for Dogs, which I absolutely love. I miss having a dog. I used to have a beagle, and I used to have a Siberian Husky. She was white with blue eyes. She wasn't my dog per se. It was more like my youngest brother's dog, Kapanin's dog. Kapanin was very fond of the dog as well, but I think the closest one was Kapanin. I think I have a picture of him sitting in the doghouse with Audrey's head sticking out of the doghouse. It was really cute. Anyway, I miss having a dog. I don't know, I wasn't as close to that dog as I was with Tasia. Tasia was my beagle. My college sweetheart actually bought me the dog when we moved in, and I found out maybe a couple months ago, not even a couple months, maybe last month, I found out from his mom that she had passed away a couple years ago, and I didn't even know. Unfortunately, circumstances had changed to the point where I had moved out. We had broken up. I had moved out. I had the dog with me, and I moved into my own apartment. As luck would have it, I eventually was evicted from that apartment and had to move in with some friends. But when I moved in with some friends, it just so happened that those friends, according to their lease, weren't allowed to have pets. So I had to give Tasia back to Andre. And after that, I didn't really hear anything from her or from him, and I went on my merry way, unfortunately. It was different because I didn't have, I don't know, y'all. I don't think you understand. Having a dog is like having a child. Unconditional love. They need you for everything. It's really like a pure kind of love. You don't have to worry about if they're going to text you back. You don't have to worry about if they are going to have an attitude about something. They will have an attitude for a little bit, but they'll get over it. They'll come back and they'll lick you and they'll come and snuggle up with you, and it's just the best feeling in the world. But yeah, I have been missing that little piece of me for a little bit, and I remember, the house I moved into with my, my flatmates or whatever, that house caught on fire. I ended up moving into another house after. I went through all kinds of craziness, but yeah, I had to give Andre the dog back, and then I just now found out last month from his mom that Tasia had passed away, and I didn't even know. She wasn't doing very well. They had to put her down apparently. So yeah, so we watched Hotel for Dogs, and it was kind of cute to see all those dogs running around and everything, and how how they could have a whole hotel full of dogs and catering to dogs and taking care of dogs is really sweet. But I have this habit, once I see one movie, I'll pick a character out of that movie or an actor or actress out of that movie, and the next movie will be one of their other movies, basically. So I followed Emma Roberts on this one. The first one obviously was Hotel for Dogs. The second one I chose was Wild Child. I don't know if you've heard of that movie, but Wild Child is basically about a little spoiled little rich girl from the U.S. Unfortunately having to do with her mother passing away, and then the possibility of her father moving on with someone else kind of flipped her out a little bit, and she obviously went on a rampage enough to be kicked out of the house and sent to boarding school. But little did she know, she ends up in a boarding school that her mom actually went to. So she kind of reconnects with her mom's spirit and kind of tames her wild ways a little bit and finds herself in the process. Oddly enough, I wasn't even thinking in this direction when I picked the movie, but I was just thinking of something that would be fun. Oddly enough, Emma Roberts' character, Poppy, ends up playing lacrosse. Now, I chose to talk about Reminiscing today because I've been doing a lot of that lately. I've been, watching movies and finding bits and pieces of myself in these movies or episodes or whatever. And in this particular one, I remember a real sense of camaraderie. Okay, so background on me a little bit. In high school, I was a Bharatanatyam dancer. Okay, I wasn't allowed to play sports for fear I'd break a leg and wouldn't be able to dance. So basically, the entire goal of my 4 years in high school was to make sure that I not only graduated from high school, but also graduated from dance. So I actually, I think it was the summer before I graduated summer before I graduated. It was 1998, a million years ago. I did my Arangetram and finished, and then the following year I actually graduated from high school. So the person I was at that point, being a dancer, going to dance camp every summer with Dharanjana Shantaka and Papianti, who are my dance teachers, and every so often we'd be really, really blessed and have Lakshman sir, Adir K. Lakshman, who would come by and actually teach us as well. Super, super tight-knit group of women. Got to know a lot of people from all over the country. They would fly in. It would be a 5-week Gurukulam style camp, which means you stay on property, you eat, drink, breathe, dance from morning until night. I'll give you a quick idea. We'd wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning for yoga class. After yoga class, we had breakfast, obviously, and then by 9 o'clock, we were to report to the dance hall for our dance classes. So the first class, which would be 1.5 to 2 hours, would be a step class. So you go through all your basic steps, your tatadavas, natadavas, all of that, one by one, slow motion, in all 3 speeds. You start very, very slow, speed up a little bit, speed up some more, and then just go through every one of them. So it was like a conditioning class. It was super, super strenuous, but it was the way we started our dance day. So by about 10:30 or so, we'd have a quick juice break, and then we get right back to dancing again. And by then we'd break off into the different levels. Whatever level you were at, you break off into your different levels of dance for your individual classes or whatever. And then we'd stop for lunch. Lunchtime, you had time to go take a shower, rest for like maybe 20 minutes. Excuse me. Before we all met up for lunch, sit down and eat lunch, which was served on property. My aunt, Rajrami, was the house mother for many years. Obviously, one of my good friends, Pallavi, her grandmother was house mother for a long time. Sheelaka was house mother for a long time as well. We just had like a really great group of people that were running the camp, helping us behind the scenes. My grandmother organized all of this, by the way, which incidentally, she turns 100 next year in January. So anyway, yeah, the camaraderie, the sense of mischief that comes with girls living in a dormitory style for 5 weeks together, all of that stuff. I miss the kind of person that I was, the personality that kind of emerged during those camp days. The first camp sucked, obviously, because I was the new kid and nobody liked me and I didn't know anyone and I was struggling. But eventually I kind of found my place, and it was awesome. The kind of person I was is who I'd like to be again, but obviously I'm like 110 years older now, and it'll be hard to go back to that person because I don't have a close-knit group of friends, to be honest. So that was the dance aspect of it. But like I said, I was watching Poppy in the movie Wild Child, and I was reminiscing about lacrosse. Now with lacrosse, funnily enough, I wanted to be on the track team. I was dying to be on the track team, but because my boyfriend at the time was on the track team and I was severely shy and wasn't ready to run in front of him and have him tell me something stupid where I'd feel self-conscious, I decided not to go out for the track team. And I went out for lacrosse instead. I had never seen the game. I didn't know what it was. But luckily enough, I was just fast enough to be able to walk onto the team. So Coach Amy Hamilton was my coach at the time. Super cool. We're still friends now. I happened to post a reminiscent update on Facebook talking about how I miss lacrosse. Like I said, I didn't know anything about the sport. It took me a long time to kind of condition myself. I used to hate practice, but obviously once you finish practice, you feel pretty strong, feel pretty good about yourself. And if nothing else, we ran and ran and ran, so I got faster. I don't know if I was a good player or not. I don't know if people, I don't know, looked up to me or thought I was any kind of good. I only played for 1 year, but it was a hell of an experience. I will never forget it. I definitely learned real fast firsthand how fast the game is when you play on turf. I loved playing on turf. There's no other feeling like it. I was very lucky not to get turf toe ever. I did get shin splints a lot, but man, turf. Anyway, busted a lot of knuckles. Playing lacrosse, finally learned how to scoop and cradle and all of that. I don't remember if I scored any goals. I remember us losing a lot of games, but it was a hell of an experience. And the kind of person that I was back then, I wish I could explain to you. I wish I could bring her back. She's in there somewhere. I just, she comes out on rare occasions. The kind of person who doesn't take any crap, will say what comes to her mind without thinking twice because she doesn't have time or energy to think twice about other people's feelings or how to, I don't know, maintain relationships. I could care less at that point. It was the same person that came out when I shaved my head in high school. Just this belligerent, obnoxious person who could care less and would tell you off just as soon as look at you. I kind of miss that person. I was talking to my brother the other day and he was telling me, man, you have people in your life that, disrespect you on a daily basis. They call sometimes, don't call sometimes, want to play with your emotions and stuff. And you, my friend, have been the most patient and quiet in I don't know, what is that word? As a reaction to these things, whereas if I had done that, you'd jump down my throat and tell me what's what, jerk a knot in my ass and keep on going. So yeah, I think I've changed a lot. I don't know if it's maturity or if I just don't have the energy to put up with nonsense or drama or to encourage it by any means, but I also don't have the energy to cut people off, like tell you I hate you and cut you off. I don't have that time. I don't have that energy. And I don't know if that's good or bad, but it is what it is at the moment. I think a lot of it has to do with my fears. I am afraid of hurting people's feelings still. Back then, I was afraid, but I could care less. It was one of those things where I was at my wit's end. I really, I couldn't take anymore, and I was just like, what, fuck it. If you're out, you're out, and I'm not gonna give you, a second chance. I'm not gonna call you back and mollycoddle your ass and hope to God that you figure it out. But in this instant, I think, I don't know if it's good or bad. Honestly, I miss that girl. Man, you want to talk about rowdy? I was rowdy, okay? I'd get riled up for no reason at all. And the kind of adventures I went on back then, I was fearless. You think I'm fearless now? I was really fearless back then. And I wonder if I could just pull that girl out of me again. I wonder if that would do me any good. I wonder if it would do more harm than good. I'm not sure. But I do reminisce a lot. I do wonder, whatever happened to that girl? Whatever happened to that character? She was a hell of a character, man. I remember I was a bio major. I started off as a bio major and eventually halfway through switched tracks. And I think I had 3 semesters left before I graduated and I switched to psychology. I got in a lot of research. I was published as an author on some research we did with rats and learning patterns. I remember going down to Florida to present that stuff. What else? I worked. I was on scholarship, but I also had a work study to add to the scholarship so we wouldn't have to pay that much. And I remember I worked at the Eagle's Nest. I cooked for everyone. It was something I loved doing. And I worked about 50 hours a week on top of my full course load. That's the kind of girl I was. I went out, workaholic, man. I remember days where just to be able to spend time with him, I would go over and hang out at my boyfriend's room, his dorm room, whatever. And I remember there would be days where he would have like a take-home test that he had to do, and he'd be like bored to tears and didn't want to do it. And you know what? I would do that shit for him. And I wasn't even a business major. I was a psych major. So stuff like that. We did some wild-ass stuff, man. We did stupid stuff. I I miss those days. I miss that camaraderie. I am really lucky that I am friends with all of those people still. Like, Corey Butts is still friends with me on Facebook. Friends with Justin Bourne, with a lot of the kids I went to school with. A lot of the kids I went to high school with. Parker Taylor and I are like, he's like my oldest friend right now. And the funny thing is, when we were in high school, he hated my guts. I think it might have been because I had a huge crush on him. But yeah, we did not get along. We didn't talk to each other. But then we got to university and things changed. We kind of like matured a little bit. And to this day, every year on his birthday, I will call him. And if I cannot call him, I will call one of our schoolmates. I'll call probably Courtney or someone and see if they have his number. And if not, you know what? I will reach out to his mom, who's also a friend of mine on Facebook. So I will make sure that I keep in touch with these people. It's just, I miss it. I know we got reunions coming up in a little bit, and I'm looking forward to coming out there and seeing you guys, and I miss that. The life I lead right now is super boring. I mean, change is on the way, you guys. I'm doing big things, but it's super boring. I mean, I'm not dating anyone. It's super boring. I don't go out like I used to. It's super boring. I used to drink. I don't drink anymore. Mostly because I felt like, damn, I have to drink before I can go loosen up and have fun. That's wrong. Somehow I should be able to do that without drinking. So I quit, and it's been 2 years, and I'm super boring. I hate to say it. I don't regret the decision by any means. I feel healthier. I can't do hangovers like I used to, man. I don't bounce back like that no more. I don't think I bounce, actually. But yeah, I've changed. And while that person is in there, if my brother is around, that person will come out, definitely. We can't go to the club without people just giving us a wide berth, basically. We just look crazy as hell. Some days, I wish I could go back. Some days, I wish I could relive some of those things. I had some mad fun. I did some crazy-ass stuff. And I wasn't bad, but I did have a lot of fun. Anyway, I guess the moral of the story is, no matter what you do, I know you're following your passions out there. I know you're trying to look for that, to rekindle that gleam in your eye again. And that's part of what following your passions is all about. But I don't know about you, but I need people sometimes. I need people. I want to joke and laugh. I want to connect with someone. I want to have a conversation. I want to fight people. I mean, debate, not like physically fight. I mean, I would physically fight if I had to, but anyway, I wouldn't mind having a debate with somebody. I wouldn't mind talking to somebody until 4 o'clock in the morning about dumb shit. I mean, I've done it. It's been amazing. I love those conversations where you laugh for no reason. You are not afraid of what the other person thinks of you. You're just you. And I miss that. A lot of times nowadays we have to pretend. We have to be PC. We have to make sure the other person isn't hurt. We have to make sure that, we don't go around pussyfooting around people so that, their feelings don't get hurt. You don't burn any bridges, blah, blah, blah. Like, I could give a shit. Seriously. If you're meant to be in my life, you're meant to be in my life. If I burn that bridge, fine, whatever. Maybe we can build it back again some other time. But I don't know. I'm done. I'm done trying not to hurt people's feelings. I'm going to tell you like it is because I don't have time to hold your hand through this. I don't have time to be like, oh, poor baby, are you sure you're going to be okay? I mean, I'm going to ask and I will be concerned. But we're all adults here, right? I mean, it's not that bad in the world that we can't really say our mind, can we? I recently heard that there's some kind of mass, like a law or something that was passed in Sri Lanka, and apparently if you say anything against the government, it's immediate jail time. I hope we don't come to that, man. I hope it doesn't come to that, really. I hope we can say what we feel. I hope we can, really speak our minds so that we allow for change. Why should we hold our tongue? You're wasting time. If you love someone, tell them you love them. If you miss someone, tell them you miss them. If you think they're wrong, if you think they're dead wrong about something they're doing, tell them. Because your silence isn't doing them any good. It's not telling them they're wrong. It's not helping the situation. If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem, aren't you? Stop holding your tongue. I know there are people out there that, they see wrong over and over and over again. And because they know that person isn't going to change, they decide, what, fuck it. I'll just go with the change. Go with the flow. Only dead fish go with the flow. Fight. Stand up. Say something. Maybe you are the one person they would listen to. Maybe you are the one person that might change their life. I'm not saying be mean about it, but tell them. Be straight. Be upfront. Life isn't meant to be easy. But it's not meant to be sat on the sidelines and watch it go by either. Get up. Go live your life, man. I'm getting ready to publish this blog piece for Crown for Success. And in the blog piece, I'm telling you, we as women, we're super critical of ourselves. We want to be perfect. There is no such thing, but we want to be perfect. We strive every time. We break ourselves down every time we miss. We beat each other up. We beat ourselves up every time we fail. That's not the way it's supposed to be, man. You should be proud of yourself. You're up there in the fight, on the front lines, doing whatever you need to do to get through that day. Be proud of yourself. Cut yourself a little bit of slack. I mean, I'm not saying sit on your ass and do nothing and then cut yourself some slack. I'm saying get up. Go do what you got to do. Go handle your business. And even if you fail, give yourself credit. Man, I showed up today. I fucking smoked an L, but you know what? I showed up. Don't give up. Don't lose heart. Keep trying. Keep going. You know who you were when you were at your peak, right? That person that you were when you were like, you felt like you were invincible, like you could take on the whole world. That person lives inside you somewhere. You need to bring that person out every now and again. You can't put him aside the whole time just because you're an adult, you're a mom, you're a family member. You mean, you still got fire in you. Let it show a couple times. Let it light your eyes up a little bit. Go live your life, man. I know I did. And I'm not done. I'm going to be one of those grandmas sitting around, I don't know if they'd have rocking chairs when we're older, but sitting around the living room with my family around me because they decided to come over for dinner one day. Talking to my grandkids about, man, you should have seen me way back when. This is what happened. Let me tell you this story. That's what I want. I want to be old, maybe with a husband, with my daughter and her kids around me, retelling crazy ass stories. Why? Because I actually lived. Because I have stories to tell. Because I've seen a lot. Can you imagine? I mean, I'm 36 and I've seen a lot already. Can you imagine how much more I'd seen in another 36 years? But that's what I want. I want that 65-year relationship with somebody where they can't live without me and I can't live without them. I want my daughter to be successful and proud of me and proud of herself, for her to push forward and push her kids forward. I want them all to be just righteous, loyal, kind, generous kids that go out and live, really live every day. I need to bring that fire back. Yeah, every day becomes mundane after, but you fall into like a rhythm, right? You need to get this done. You need to get that done. This is how you squeeze it in. You need to, you have a pop-up doctor's appointment. You got to squeeze it in there. You got to cook all of a sudden, or got to go buy shoes all of a sudden. Whatever pops up. Yeah, it's mundane. And yeah, you got to get through it, but throw in some excitement. Don't lose that spark. You hear me? Alright, y'all, let me go ahead and push this publish button on this blog post so you can read that as well. And I will catch you again tomorrow. I actually happen to be off, so let me see how much work I can get done. Alright? Alright, you guys. Talk to you later. Bye.